Hi everyone, welcome to a Trash to Treasure episode. Today I'll be turning trash into treasure, literally. I'll be taking tin cans and turning them into something useful or a pretty decoration. So join me as I work on these fun projects and enjoy. So of course the first thing I did was gather all of my empty tin cans. I washed them, removed the labels. Removing labels from tin cans isn't always the easiest thing to do. It kind of varies from brand to brand. Some are harder to remove, or rather the glue spots. And I kind of opted to just go with what I can remove using soap and water. I wasn't in the mood to use strong chemicals, and I think most of my designs that I'll be creating, I'll be able to turn it to the back, you know, if it's noticeable, or put a label over it. So the first project I'll be working on involves using canned cat food tins, and I of course have plenty of these. I feed my cats each a helping of canned cat food every evening, and during the day they just get the crunchy kind, so this is kind of like a treat for them. And trust me, they let me know when it's that time. We have these 7/8 inch dowels out in the shop, and I cut off little sections measuring around a 1/2 inch long, and these will be the little legs for my planters. Here I'm just sanding the edges. And some of the projects you're going to see in this video are some that you might have seen on Pinterest already. I often notice, you know, tin can projects on Pinterest. I'll pin it if I like it. And so I definitely got some of the inspiration from Pinterest, but of course it won't be, you know, exactly the same. But for these little planters, I plan to create little molds using the Redesign decor molds. And I want to have a design, you know, on the side, and then little legs on the bottom, and possibly a wire handle. And of course, most of the tins I'll be working on in this video will be painted. I'm planning on using wire and a little wooden dowel for the handle part of this piece. I discovered it's easier sometimes to use a hammer and nail to get a hole started in a tin like this. That way, you know, your drill bit doesn't slip around. I really like this wire. I got it from Amazon. I like the thickness of it, and yet it's very bendable. And I will link it down below in the description box in case you're looking for something like this. But it has like a plastic coating over it, so it makes it really easy to work with. I painted the handle part, and I also added the wooden beads to kind of cover up my wire end. I used a Sharpie marker to what I call cheat distress the pieces, where I just here and there, add little black marks to make it look distressed. I really wished I had actual live succulents to put into these pieces. I think they would look really cute in here. In fact, I saw a picture on Pinterest where they had used succulents, but didn't have any on hand that were small enough. So I'll just do the final display here with some fake greenery. You could also use them as, little candy dishes or just little holding containers for anything really that is small enough to fit in here. So for the next project, I'll be turning a tin can into a little watering pitcher. And here I'm just kind of bending the can into a pitcher shape. I didn't get a video of this, but I drilled 2 holes in the side of the can to attach my handle. And for my handle, I plan to use a drawer pull. And this is a pull I had removed from a piece of furniture and just, hung on to it. So I guess it'll get a new life as a pitcher handle. I used white spray paint to paint this piece, and I won't show my painting process with every project that I'm doing here in this video. They're all kind of the same, basically just using spray paint, applying, thin, even layers of paint so that it doesn't run, which metal like this isn't prone to running like, glass would be, but you still have to be kind of careful. And the sheen of the spray paint that I'm using is flat, but any other would work too, like satin or semi-gloss or gloss. Flat is what I had on hand, so that's what I'm using. I have these pretty decor transfers, and these are a little bit different from the ones I normally use. They're the H2O kind. It's where you actually use water to apply them versus just, dry rubbing them off. And these are also from Patterson Art Studio. I've talked about them before on here, and I do have their link down below in the description box. If you're at all looking for something like this for your projects, they have all kinds of different transfers along with many other things along this line as far as if you enjoy, creating and crafting. So make sure to check them out. It's an Etsy shop out of Texas. To make this completely waterproof, I would of course have to apply a caulking around the screws where the drawer pull is attached. But I think this would make a nice decorating accent piece. You really wouldn't even have to use it. The next can is going to be turned into an old vintage looking canister of sorts, and what I have in mind here is something just for decoration purposes, like an accent piece for your home or maybe even on a potting bench on the porch. Probably not something you'd actually use. And I'm going to start out by covering it with tissue paper. I'm using Mod Podge to apply this. Ended up doing 2 layers just to cover up some of the shiny tin. This brush I'm using is one of my favorite ones for any paint projects, and we actually have these on the Etsy shop. I ended up buying them in bulk and engraving our logo on them, so if you want a White Cottage Company paintbrush, they are on the Etsy shop. Pretty sure you won't be disappointed if you like to use a slanted brush like this. I would not use any other. Of course, this piece needs a pretty decor transfer. I'm going to use a Q-tip and some brown paint to apply some fake rust along the edges and even on the can, like on the side, just here and there, little spots that you think would actually maybe rust. You don't want it to, look fake, but just less is more often when you do something like this. I wanted a cap or a lid for this can, and I was happy to find one in my little red potting shed behind the house. It's a little building where I store my planters and anything kind of gardening related in there. And I was digging through my stash and I managed to find this. It comes from an old, off of an old metal jug that I had picked up in a garage sale years ago. The bottom was rusted out, so I feel like it probably lost its value, if it's an antique, which I imagine it might be. But this will fit perfectly onto my can, and I just love the look that it has, going with kind of the rusty look of the can and even the decor transfer. I think it kind of ties everything together. I'm going to jump in here and talk about a new product we have available, and I'll have to give you a cuteness alert on this one. I have a local Amish lady that makes these. They're just beautiful, and she does this as a pastime. You can tell she loves to make them and puts a lot of time and effort in them. Of course, these would make great gift ideas for that special child in your life. I'm really excited about this. I feel like it's a beginning of something. I have in mind to have more of a toy line on my website. Still working on some other products, but for now we have these cute little animals, and there is a link down below in the description box to get to my website, or if you want to search it on Google, just put in the whitecottageco.com and that should get you to it. Now back to tin cans. I'm going to make a few of these tin can pockets. I've seen them on Pinterest and they always catch my eye. You just remove the top and bottom of a tin can and then you press the one end together, and it's kind of hard to get it to stay put. I didn't get a video of this, but I tried a Gorilla Glue and put it in the vise overnight, and one of them stayed put and the other popped open, so there definitely is a lot of pressure there. You need a good strong glue to keep it together, but I'm not planning on potting anything in here, so I don't really need it to be sealed along the bottom. But if you want to do that, you'd probably have to figure out another way to keep it together. I of course painted them, and here I'm applying decor transfers to them. It's just a fun little piece to decorate and be creative with. For the next project, I have 3 cans that are exactly the same size, and I plan to create a silverware caddy with them. And here I'm using a wooden round and sanding it. I'm going to stain it along with a piece of, like a section of a wooden dowel. That will be my center. I'm using my Silhouette Cameo to create decals for each can. I didn't get this in the video, but I ended up putting some screws in the bottoms of the cans to attach them to my wooden round just for added stability. I had to drill a rather large hole into the dowel in order to get my hardware that I wanted to use on the top here. Next up is this tuna can. I plan to turn it into a soap dish. I recently started making round soaps, and I thought, how cute would that be to have a round soap dish? I want this soap dish to look like actual enamelware, so here I'm using a black Sharpie to create that edge, that black edge. I plan to use bottle corks as little legs on here. As many of you know, for the past couple of years, I have really enjoyed making homemade soap. I've even had videos on, the process of how I go about to make it. In fact, I have one coming up soon here. But I have really been quite obsessed with it, actually. My family could confirm that. I rarely walk past my soap racks without stopping and smelling them and checking on them, but it's just so much fun. And like I mentioned, I made some round soap, and I actually have some available for the Etsy shop. It's a new thing for me. It's a slow process because I just have one round mold to work with, but I just think it turned out so cute. So if you are interested in trying this, it is my new, what I call the Old Orchard line of soap or collection. And I tried to pick scents that are kind of orchard related. I'm still not finished. I'm still adding some as the days go by, but of course they need time to cure, so you'll find out later about those. But for now, I do have 3 different scents available. I'm always in need of pretty planters for my house plants. Here I have a large tin can that I painted, and to add character, I'm just applying some little hardware pieces that I got off of Amazon. Nothing fancy, but I think it'll make a cute planter for my foxtail fern that my mom recently gifted me. Since we're doing tin can projects, I wanted to do a throwback from a number of years ago when the Etsy shop was fairly new. I had done some tin can candles where I washed and painted tin cans and got Amy to pour wax into them, and I sold them on the Etsy shop, and they were a huge hit. I still love the look of a tin can candle, so I did do a small run of these. I had a collection of these cans that were just a really nice size. They're around 6 ounces, I think, and I did the same scent that I did years ago, Garden Mint. I wonder if anyone remembers those, but I have some of them available, not a whole lot, on the Etsy shop. Make sure to check them out. I think they turned out great. For the final project in this video, I used my S1 engraver by XTOOL to cut out a wooden circle, and I plan to use this as a plug for one of the cans, and I plan to turn it into a birdhouse. I want to keep it for myself. I'm hoping I'll get a house wren in it. I wanted this little house to look sort of like an old gas or oil barrel, and I plan to add decor transfers to it, preferably just numbers, kind of get that look that I want. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I sure had a lot of fun working on these projects. I imagine I'll probably keep some of them and the rest will be put in the antique mall. Speaking of the antique mall, I have an exciting announcement regarding that. We are planning on stocking more of our products there on a regular basis. So far, we've just been putting, some of the candles up there, and then of course some of the items I repurpose. And I do share the booth with another girl, and she does a wonderful job of keeping it stocked. She has a lot of nice products in there, and presently we're working on a cupboard that we'll put in there and then stock most of our candles, soap, some of the wooden products, even some fabric products. So I'm kind of excited about it. Probably make a separate video on that, kind of showing our process, so stay tuned for that. And again, make sure to check out those adorable animals on my website, and then some of the new products on the Etsy shop. And just a reminder, we do have free shipping on all of our candles right now, so if you're needing a candle for the spring season, make sure to check that out. As always, I hope your day is going great. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.